Okay, so if you don't want to hear my opinion, then feel free to click away from this video, because that's all this is going to be. So recently, in the past couple of years, the car community has just declined so fast. And I'm going to explain some of my points or views on why I think it has gone down so bad. The first one is the street takeovers. Those street takeovers are so stupid. You're going into an intersection, you're blocking off the intersection, you're doing donuts in the middle of the intersection, which, don't get me wrong, I love sliding around, doing some donuts and stuff, but go into an abandoned parking lot that no one else is in and go do that. And then leave. And don't trash the place. Don't, tear down stuff. Like that. That is just straight hoodlum stuff that you're doing at these takeover slideshows. Like, that stuff is terrible. And we all know that 50% of the cars that show up at those street takeovers that you see in LA and New York and Dallas and all the major cities, St. Louis, those are all, for the most part, stolen, because no self-respecting car enthusiast is going to do that crap to their cars. I wouldn't take my car there. One, you might get your car stolen. Two, somebody might hit you and run off, and nobody else there is going to help you get your stuff back or fix the problem. And then three, you could literally get shot at one of these things. I was just watching a video the other day, and now it was an old clip from a year ago, but it's still relevant. A dude literally got robbed at gunpoint by a mini Draco for his jacket at one of these street takeovers. I think this one was in Los Angeles. The people that attend these street takeovers, for the most part, they're bums, dude. That's just straight up facts. Think about it like this. What if you were trying to get your wife to the hospital because she just went into labor, and you're trying to have your wife have the kid at the hospital and not in the car, and then you run up on one of these street takeovers and they've got the whole entire intersection blocked off, and then they start jumping on your car just for trying to get through? This is just, it's so stupid. I can't stand these takeovers. And hey, I will admit to you, when I first started seeing these videos of these takeovers, when it was first starting during around 2020, the pandemic type thing, I kind of thought it was cool. I was like, okay. I mean, who doesn't love a few donuts around an intersection? But now, it is just a complete different thing. You can literally just feel the dark energy through the video. They're just straight up to no good at these takeovers. It is so stupid. Another thing, point number 2, is the internet has absolutely warped most people's minds into thinking if you don't have 1,000 horsepower, or you don't have a sub 3-second 0 to 60, or you don't have a car that can, put up a record time at Laguna Seca, you have a piece of crap car. That's just absurd to me. I'll just say this. I have owned 3 of the most hated cars in the car community. First car, 2003 350Z 6-speed DE engine. Absolutely hated on across the board. People say it sounds terrible. People say they're a piece of crap cars. All this, all that. Amazing car. I still have it to this day. Second car, E92 335i. People say, oh, people that drive that car, they're douchebags, and that car will never run right, and all this and that, and oh, you're paying so much to even maintain that, to keep it on the road. And you're not wrong on that part. That's why I sold it, because it was so dang unreliable. And that's partially due to what the prior owner had done to it. Now, do I still think that BMWs are a little finicky and they're kind of weird with some of the stuff they do? Absolutely. I don't know why you're putting so many plastic parts around such a good car. Well, We all know why they're doing that, so you take it back to the dealership and spend more money, but that's besides the point. My third car that I'm sitting in right now, a 392 wide body Charger. People say these cars are absolute pieces of crap, lemons. They're slow. They handle like crap. They look terrible. They sound terrible. All you name it. People say the stuff about this car. Now let's go over all the good things about those cars. My Z. It is a tremendously good handling car. I mean, the thing feels like a go-kart straight out of the factory. It's light, it's nimble, it's got a fun transmission to row through the gears. I mean, it's got more space than you would actually think. I mean, with the hatch, I can fit 2 golf clubs. I will tell you this. In high school, when I was a little idiot myself, I managed to fit 5 people in that Z. Don't ask me how, but I did it. And I drove. We'll say we were in Mexico for that one. It has an amazing aftermarket community. I think the car looks great, just right off the production line. I mean, I've added a few small things to it. Mine was one that it was a performance package, but it didn't come with the little lip spoiler. So I added that on. Added like this bullet antenna, put a Tomei exhaust on it. Changed out the carbon fiber drive shaft to an aluminum drive shaft. Just little stuff like that. I eventually put in a new engine, resurfaced the flywheel, new clutch, just some stuff. But great car. Does not deserve the hate. And it doesn't sound bad. I don't understand why people say those cars sound bad. Yes, can you make them sound bad? Absolutely. You can make a Lamborghini sound bad if you try hard enough. Like, I just don't get that. Number 2, the BMW. That car was a rocket ship because mine was an FBO. It didn't have cats. That thing ran like a bat out of hell. Like, that thing got up and went. Like, I would guesstimate that one was probably making like 470 to the crank, not to the wheels. It was, I went down to Mexico one time and I was racing a Camaro SS, and it was an FBO 91 tuned Camaro SS. I think it was a 5th gen whenever they brought it back out in 2010, whatever that generation is. It was dead even with that until 160. Tapped the speedo, couldn't go any faster. Great car, absolute rocket ship, and that thing handled like a dream. I tell this to people all the time. If that car wasn't so dang unreliable because of the way that it was like built and put together, I would still be driving that car to this day instead of this Charger, because I had so much fun driving that car. It was so comfortable. The transmission felt good. Because it was a 6-speed too. It had the hill assist start, so you didn't roll back. Yeah, great car. Doesn't deserve all the hate that it gets. Finally, this Charger. This Charger never claimed to be anything besides a family sedan with a V8. It's not a track car. It's not a supercar. It's not a sports car. It is a purebred muscle car. Never ever did Dodge say that this car was supposed to handle good. Never did they say it was supposed to hook and book. Never did they say any of this crap that you guys, well, I'm not saying you guys, but like a lot of the community hates on these cars for. This is a 4-door family sedan. It has a 6.4 liter engine, and it sounds phenomenal. It blows the tires off really anytime you want it to, unless you're already going like over 40. The adaptive suspension rides amazing. I mean, if you want to have it in street, you can just have it, you know, nice and floaty, real comfortable. If you want it more rigid and you want a little bit better handling car for the back roads, put in a track. It handles way better. Stiffens up the steering wheel and everything. It messes with the transmission tune. It makes it real fast. I mean, it shifts instantly. I don't get the hate in the car community nowadays. Like, this is an amazing car. Today, it was actually funny. I realized this because I was looking at some photos earlier today. This is the 2-year anniversary of me owning this car, and it's at 29,433 miles. And the only, and I say only, problem I've ever had with this car is the center drive shaft carrier bearing blew out around like 7,000 miles. I don't know why that happened. I broke this car in exactly how the owner's manual said to. I really don't know why that happened. It must have just been a faulty part or something, but took it to the dealership and they replaced it under warranty. I didn't have to pay a dime for it. So everything is good. And the fact that people call this car slow just drives me up a wall. That goes back to what I was saying earlier. The internet has warped people's minds to think that if you don't have 1,000 horsepower and you're not a GTR or a Porsche GT3 RS, you're not fast. This car will hit 175 miles an hour. I haven't done that. I've actually driven this car the slowest out of all of my cars, but it's fast. You're telling me that 175 miles an hour is not fast? You're insane. You're insane. Like, that's just crazy. And same with my Z. I took my Z down to Mexico for a fun little vacation. I hit 154 in a 2003 stock DE350Z. 154 miles an hour. That car is not slow. That is not a slow car. Sure, it may not be quick off the line or anything. Like, it's got like a 5.5 second 0 to 60. I mean, the best I've seen out of a wide body 392, I think I saw somebody get a 3.9 one time, like stock. No radials or any of that crap. No engine upgrades or anything. Stock 392 wide body, because this is a wide body. I think I saw somebody get a 3.9 out of a family sedan, naturally aspirated. That way, I mean, with this one, the way it's spec'd, this one weighs like 4,700 pounds. Like, that's pretty dang fast, bro. This car was meant to haul people around. It was meant to give you space. It was meant to be comfortable, and it sure is. This interior is super comfortable. I love riding around in this car. And that's another thing. People hate on the interior of this car. What is there to hate on this car for? Like, if you want to hate on this, go hate on the dang GTR. That thing's been the exact same since 2009. Go hate on that. But no, everybody's got to glaze the GTR. Don't get me wrong. I love GTRs. I actually considered picking up a used one before I bought this because I custom ordered this car. I spec'd it exactly how I wanted to. And that honestly will roll into the third thing that I'm talking about. People are always like, why didn't you get this? Why didn't you get that? I didn't want to, okay? I had this one dude tell me this one time. He was like, you could have just gotten a Hellcat. I know, dude. I could have saved money buying a used Hellcat that somebody ragged on and somebody probably smoked in all the time. Somebody probably didn't change the oil every time they were supposed to, or let it go 2,000 miles over. They didn't ever... I mean, this car isn't to the point, but they didn't change out the diff fluid or anything, or... You guys know what I'm talking about. They didn't take care of it. I bought this car. It rolled off the lot with 14 miles, and I put every mile on this car besides then. I know exactly what is going on with this car. I literally have in my room a whole log, every oil change, anything that's happened to this car, when I changed the drive shaft, when I changed the tires out, everything about this car has been documented. This car is going to be a good car because I take care of it. So yes, I could have bought a Hellcat. I didn't want to. I didn't want to buy somebody else's beat up whip. I didn't want to. And I don't understand why that's a problem to some people. Like, they'll be like, oh, you got the GT3? Why didn't you get the GT3 RS? Do you have an extra 100,000 to loan me for the RS? Probably not. Like, dude, just like, I don't get the car community right now. It is just so toxic to the point where I really don't even enjoy being around the car community anymore. The only time that I will ever go to a car meet or a car show is Cars and Coffee, because it's pretty respectable. I mean, they've usually got at the one that I go to, they usually have sheriffs there monitoring the event the whole time. I think since I've been going to it, there's only been one car crash the entire like 4 or 5 years that I've known what Cars and Coffee was and been to it. Because I'm 22, so I've been driving a little longer than that. But there's only been one crash that I know of, and it was a Mustang. Who would have thought? But he was trying to show off, ripped it through the intersection, turning left, and totaled out a Ford or a Dodge truck. It was bad. It was so bad, but it's just, the car community has gotten toxic. I really don't enjoy being around car people anymore. Like, it's just like, the community is not what it used to be. I mean, the community used to be about loving cars, and now it's about chasing draggy times, and it's about who's got the most clout in the car community, and who's got the loudest car, and, you know, like, who can rip the biggest burnout in the slideshow pit with the stolen car that they stole from some dude 30 minutes ago, and then they're gonna crash 30 minutes later. It's just ridiculous what the car community has come to. And no, like, is that the whole car community? No, absolutely not. Because I'm friends with some people that genuinely do enjoy cars, and I hang out with those guys by myself, and we talk cars, and, you know, we bounce cars off each other like, hey, this would be cool, or hey, that would be cool, or I really don't like those, but I can respect why somebody else would. And it's kind of screwed up what the car community has come to. And I guarantee a lot of you guys are feeling the same way. And that's another thing. I don't see why people, I guess, gatekeep or just like shun other cars. Like the whole Chevy, Ford, Dodge thing. Like, it drives me insane. I literally almost got a Mach 1 5.0 over this. But then I was like, you know what? I want a sedan. I want extra room. I've had 2 coupes already. I want a sedan. So I got this. That does not mean I'm going to go out, I'm going to say, Mustangs are garbage. Don't ever buy a Mustang. Those things are trash. No, I love Mustangs. I just didn't buy one. I was talking to this with my buddy literally last night. He was like, I really don't like Mustangs that much. I would definitely get a Camaro. And he's a Q50 guy. He had been driving Infinities. And we were just talking about that. And I was like, well, I mean, my view on that, I would probably pick an SS over a base 5.0, but I would definitely get a GT350 or a GT500 over a Z28 or a Z01. I like the higher end Shelbys better than I do the higher end Chevys. But base for base, I'd probably pick the Camaro. I just like it more. And I don't see why people have to hate on other cars so much. It's the same with BMW, Mercedes, and Audis. It's just like, if you drive a BMW, every Audi and Mercedes owner is under you. It's like, No, bro. No. That is not how this works. You have a cool car. I have a cool car. They have a cool car. All three of them are different brands. They're all equally as cool. Now, if you're comparing a C63 to an A4, obviously the C63 is going to be way cooler than an A4. But you see what I'm saying here. Like, it doesn't make sense. Why are you hating on somebody else's car? And that's another thing. Like, the builds now are just so whack. You've got these dudes that will just throw the most obnoxious rap on a car and do absolutely nothing else except for maybe some wheels or something. And they call that a, like, supreme build. I mean, a perfect example of this is the cars that were at SEMA this year. The Lamborghini swapped Miata that didn't even run, and half the parts weren't even bolted in. They should have said, get out of here at the front gate. SEMA is supposed to be the top of the top most prestigious car builds in the country. But you let a handful, I mean, more than a handful, I'm sure, of cars that don't even start into the show? What? Like, same with that Tesla, like that blue Tesla. I mean, I was watching a video on it, and the doors weren't even lined up. Like, the passenger, or the rear door was here, and the driver's door was, like, here. That's nasty, bro. Why is that at SEMA? And then you look at the roof of it, and it looks like it's made out of plywood. Why is this stuff at SEMA? It just blows my mind how low the car community has gotten. It's just weird. It's just weird. Because I am a car enthusiast through and through. I've been one since day one. My dad has always had cool cars my entire life. He had, when I was born and very young, he had a C3 Corvette. And then he had a Buick Grand Sport. And then he's had 3 '79 Trans Ams, 2 Smokey and the Bandits, 1 was a pace car. He bought a '69 Charger that he was going to convert into a Daytona Charger, because that's always been one of his dream cars, was a Daytona Charger. And you guys know how expensive those things are. Those things are absurdly expensive to find a real one in good condition that's not just beat. He never got to restore that one. The Charger was a rust bucket, and it ended up being just too much for him to take on. Then he bought another '79 Trans Am, and same thing. He never really got around to restoring it. Ended up selling it. That one ran and everything. You could drive that one, but he was like, I don't really feel like messing with this thing. So I've always been a car enthusiast through and through. I love any car, any brand, any continent. Japanese, German, American, French, British. Doesn't matter what country it is. I like it because I love cars. I love cars. Now, am I a master mechanic? Absolutely not. I really don't know how to do much besides the basic stuff. You know, taking off wheels, changing your oil, you know, doing brake pad repairs and stuff like that. I know how to do simple stuff, like to maintain cars and all that crap, but I'm no master mechanic. And I'll sit here and tell you that. I am no master mechanic. But I love cars. I genuinely love cars. And I feel like that's what separates this new car culture from a real car enthusiast. This car culture nowadays is just about clout. It's how many views can I get on this video? How many women can I get to like this and want to be with me because I got the scat pack? Like, it's just so stupid. Like there's a Z right there. Like, it doesn't look the greatest, but hey, who cares? Who cares? That's his build. Maybe he's in the middle of building it right now, and that's why it's got a mismatched colored hood. Maybe that was a carbon fiber hood. Who knows? It was dark out. I couldn't tell. Sounds pretty good. Sounds pretty good. I mean, will I kind of dog on V6 muscle cars and inline 4 turbo muscle cars? Yeah. Yeah. Because to me, a muscle car should be a V8. But I'm not going to say you're under me because you have a V6 car. That's just arrogant. You have a Charger or you have a Mustang. Is it a 5.0 or is it a 6.2 supercharged? No, but hey, you still got a Mustang. That's your car, bro. It doesn't matter. It literally doesn't matter. Like my buddies, 2 of my best friends, they both have Velosters. One has a Veloster N, one has a Veloster Turbo. Now, is that my cup of tea necessarily? Not necessarily, no. I'm not a 4-cylinder turbo guy. But I like their cars. They're sick. The Veloster N guy, I mean, his is stock. He put, I think he's got a special, like a European version of like the OEM intake, but it's something like special. And then my other buddy with the turbo Veloster, he put a boiler exhaust on it. He's got a cold air intake. He's got a blow off valve. That thing sounds sweet. Like, it sounds sick. It's got 3 doors. Like, that's just straight up cool. Like, what other car do you know that has 3 doors? Besides, like, a cab and a half pickup truck, you know? Like, that's just cool. Now, would I go out and buy a Veloster N over this? No, I wouldn't, because I like the sound of V8s. And personally, I'm a real big fan of naturally aspirated cars. I like the raw power feeling. Now, don't get me wrong, my N54 335, when it hit boost, that was an incredible feeling. It was so fun. But it's just weird. The car community has gotten weird. And now I know I kind of got off on a little tangent that doesn't really have to do with the car community, but I feel like it would also kind of help you guys understand like where I'm coming from. Like, the hate in the car community is just stupid. Stop hating on everybody else's cars, guys. Like, we're here to enjoy cars. That's what brings us together as car enthusiasts, is our love of cars. So stop hating on this dude over here because he's got a Mitsubishi Evo and you've got an RS5. That doesn't make him any less than you. He just likes Evos more than Audis. And me and you both know that Evo could probably gap that RS5 if it's built correctly. And some would argue it looks way cooler too. But again, that's your own opinion. And I think that's another problem too, is people have started to not realize what opinions are. I literally said, like, I had a comment like this the other day. This dude was like basically calling me stupid or something. I literally put in the original comment, in my opinion. An opinion is something that you state based on not knowing the factual knowledge behind it. It's an opinion. That's just how you feel about it. It doesn't matter if it's facts or not. That's just how you feel about it. I don't know, guys. I just felt like making this video, just kind of like ranting about this for a little bit. Shout out that dude in blue. I saw him make a video kind of similar to this. But I just thought I'd kind of put my own twist on it. If you guys want me to make more videos like this, like longer form videos instead of shorts, because that's really all I make is shorts, I can definitely start doing that. I have a little tripod thingy, this little thing, so I'll do that if you want. But yeah, car community is weird right now. I hope it comes back to what it used to be, because the car community used to be a great thing to be a part of. It really did. I remember going to car shows that weren't Cars and Coffee with my dad as a kid, and I had the time of my life at those places. I mean, it was just so cool seeing all the cars, and I was just like, dude, this is my life now. I love cars. I'm never leaving this community ever. But it sure has gotten weird, that's for sure. But if you stayed to the end of this video, I appreciate you. And I just want to say, Jesus loves you. He died for your sins so that you did not have to burn for them. And that's just facts. That's not an opinion. That's straight facts. And you can research it and find out for yourself if you want to. But I love you guys too. Jesus loves you. The Lord loves you. Peace, guys.